Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Shane Bigelow, CEO of CHAMPtitles, to discuss modernizing title registration and insurance systems. And Shane, last time we met, it was either 2018 or 2019, we were talking about this at a blockchain conference, but it seems as if there's still challenges existing within those spaces when it comes to digitization and more efficiency.
Well, Jill, it's great to see you again. It has been a few years, so glad to see everybody's well. There's been a lot of progress made, but you're exactly right. There's always friction. I think anytime you're moving from a paper-based process to a digital one, folks tend to want to question that. They want to question things like security and provenance of an asset and the like, and those are all great questions. But the reality is that as we become more and more digitized in the world, I think we become more familiar with the idea that the digital asset is actually quite a bit more secure. Provenance is easier to track. Transactions are easier to consume. And hopefully the consumer's life is a lot better.
So Shane, tell us about the solutions that CHAMPtitles provides.
So we really exist in two different verticals. The first is selling into government. So think of it as a government entity, particularly a state government, wants to replace their title and registration system so that their consumers, their car dealers, their lenders, anyone that's transacting with vehicles, fleet owners, the like, have an opportunity to more efficiently handle title and registration transactions. Typically, state governments have consumed these by doing massive, huge overhauls of their systems that cost lots of money up front to the taxpayers and have big maintenance contracts. We actually come in and say, don't do the big lift. It's not necessary. Where the pain points are for consumers, dealers, lenders, fleet operators, and others are around this movement of the titled asset. So enable your current systems to work better in this digitized world, leveraging a SaaS solution that we have. That's on the government side. On the enterprise side, we sell into insurance carriers and vehicle retailers to assist them with moving their titles around. Moving titles is actually quite a time-consuming and paper-ridden process. By offering them a digital experience, we eliminate a lot of their costs.
So is this done via blockchain technology? What's making it more efficient?
Yeah, so the first thing that makes it more efficient is just simply giving a digital experience, right? It's hard to think about this. When I started the company with my business partner, one of the first questions I had was from my mother, who said, I thought that already was digital, because most people presume that titling is digital. So the first thing is just taking it from paper to digital. The second thing is really layering in blockchain, right? The blockchain is the best ledger out there in the world to keep track of information about assets. And it can be used in a lot of different ways, but at the core, you're trying to track who owns what. And if you're trying to do that, titling is a perfect place to go, because titling is in fact the tracking of who owns what, but doing it in a paper form with wax seals or and other things on the documents is unnecessary when you have a great technology at your fingertips like blockchain, which can track the provenance of an asset. And that's what we're doing.
So Shane, is it something that using this technology, you have to start from today and moving forward, tracking who owns what, or is it something that can be not backdated, but you can go, for example, I bought my house from someone else. Can you go that far back, or is it something that you start today?
Well, you certainly can go backwards and take all that data, but you have to know that that data is right. Part of the problem that states have is that a lot of times the data that they possess isn't necessarily right? Assets can sit around for a long period of time. Your home could easily be over 100 years old. So you're transitioning from what might have been a word of mouth to a paper-based to a wax seal, and now you're going to digital. There's lots of different systems of records in there. What we generally encourage states to do is to say, let's get everything forward right. And if you want to back integrate, great, we can talk about that. There are ways to do it, but you better be sure your data is good. If you do it right going forward, you'll never have this problem again.
Are you starting to get traction with this? I mean, realistically, is this something that can be deployed or what we use practically every day, let's say in the next 3 to 5 years?
We hope much sooner, yes. In fact, it is being used right now in a number of different insurance carriers, retailers, and even state governments. So we've had material traction since you and I first met a few years ago.
Well, that's good. Let's not make it a few years this time around. Shane, great to see you. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you so much, Jill.